How African leaders have decided to cling on power. I don't know who told African leaders that leadership is life and death. Once you get into power, the only time that you leave power is when you are dead and gone, or extremely old, when people just decide to give you the new energy and vote them out. African current longest serving leaders. Paris, France. Many African leaders managed to cling to power for decades, either by force, breaking laws, or bending constitutions. It's an established norm that has been practiced throughout the modern history of the continent. Number 1, we do have Obiang, who came to power in August 3rd, 1979 COP, is Africa's longest-serving leader with 43 years at the helm. Next month, at the age of 80, he will run for a 6th term lasting 7 years. In Cameroon, we do have Paul Biya. Cameroon has lived through 40 years of largely unchallenged and hardline rule under Biya. The 89-year-old runs the country through a very small circle of aides, whom he appoints and banishes as he sees fit. Openly talking about succession is taboo even for his closest supporters, and Biya has overseen a ruthless crackdown on dissent since his high contested re-election in 2018. We also have Denis Sassou, 78, has been in power for 38 years, albeit not uninterruptedly. He was president from 1979 to 1992, then returned to office in 1977 after civil war. He was re-elected in 2016 after the passing of a new constitution, then won a 4th mandate on March 21st that year. In Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, 78, has led his country for 36 years since January 1986. He was re-elected in January 2021 for a 6th term after a contested campaign. A Supreme Court ruling to abolish an age ceiling of 75 allowed him to stand once again and continue serving. Eswatini, Africa's last remaining absolute monarchy, has been ruled by King Mswati III for 36 years. He ascended to the throne in April 1986, aged just 18. What is happening to our leaders? A day of dialogue with Julius Malema tells us more.
We, as a younger generation of Africa, we must not seek to get rid of the old in a disparate manner to a point where we destroy institutional memory. We must always make sure that the old coexist with the young, but the old must be prepared to pass the wisdom to the young ones. For because at some point, the old must die for the new to emerge. And it's not me calling for the killing of the elderly African leadership. Nature dictates that the old at some point must die for the new to emerge. But this new must be prepared to learn from the old. I was in Liberia yesterday and I saw the inauguration of an old president. I got so worried. But when I saw the vice president, I left Liberia in a very comfortable way, because I saw a generational mix where the old and the young coexist in one office. And I hope the vice president will not be suffocated, because the president must know that with all his experience and advanced age, he has a duty to pass the baton to the younger generation. We call on all African leaders not to leave an office with a coffin. When the time comes for them to go, they must leave without calling the army to extend their term. No one is born a leader. No one is a traditional leader in a political office. If you want to be a traditional leader, go and fight in your tribe for those type of issues. We don't subscribe to people who want to leave a political office with a coffin. We will still give you a state funeral because you are a former president. We will still pay you pensions and give you protection and take care of you as long as you respect those who came after you. You have to ensure that democracy matures in such a manner in Africa, where the previous president does not make it his business to fight the current president. You must allow the new to lead with all their faults because you are the same. It doesn't mean you are perfect. The young ones who are coming after you will challenge the current one. No African leader who is on retirement should lead from the grave. They must all be like all other progressive former presidents who are statesmen at home, waiting for courtesy visits and consultation and attending to honor state functions. Those are the duties of former presidents, because Africa must be stable. Africa must go through democracy at all times. And elections in Africa should never mean the blood on the floor. We Africans must hate seeing our own blood. We must always protect each other because we love ourselves so much that we don't want to see our own blood.
You know leaders who have just clung to power with everything they have? Let me know your thoughts on the comment section. Thanks for watching and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Messi Mogusu.